Ronaldo Nazário grew up in the Brazilian favelas, rose to the very top of European football, and then fell victim to one of the most heartbreaking downfalls in the sport's history. He scored over 400 career goals, won 2 World Cups and 2 Ballon d'Ors, suffered some of the worst injuries a football player has ever faced. So, this is the insane rise and the tragic fall of the greatest striker football has ever seen, Ronaldo Nazário.
For me, he was not playing football, he was football.
Ronaldo is special.
The best football player I have ever seen on a pitch.
This crazy story begins on the 8th of September 1976 in the favelas of Rio de Janeiro, because on that day, Ronaldo Luiz Nazário de Lima was born. But that's a long name, so we'll stick with Ronaldo Nazário for the video. Ronaldo had 2 older siblings, and their upbringing was difficult to say the least. Ronaldo's father was a phone technician, and his mother was a housewife, meaning that there wasn't much money in the family. But as we see with most football legends, this tough upbringing was just fuel to work harder and escape poverty. From a very young age, Ronaldo's football talent became clear as he used to play on the streets in Brazil. His mother says that she always found him on the streets with a football when he was supposed to be in school, and it's that love for the sport that took Ronaldo to the very top of the game. At 11 years old, Ronaldo's parents separated, which just made life that little bit harder for him. But of course, that meant he had more fuel and drive to really make it. Now, Ronaldo didn't actually start out playing football. Instead, he grew up playing futsal, which is where he credits his skills and dribbling ability. But when he was 14 years old, he was spotted by Brazilian legend Jairzinho, and from that moment he saw him, he knew that Ronaldo was going to be a star. So he helped him make the move to football and joined the São Cristóvão Youth Academy, where he shined. At just 15 years old, he was already playing for the under-20 team, and he was getting so good that bigger clubs started to look at him. He wanted to move to Flamengo and was given a trial with the club, but he couldn't afford the bus fare to get there, so they rejected him. Instead, he signed for Brazilian club Cruzeiro. 4 goals on his youth team debut meant he got a call-up to the first team within just 3 months of arriving, and just like that, Ronaldo signed his first pro contract with the club. Now, Cruzeiro is an important part of Ronaldo's story, and you'll see exactly why later on in his life. But for now, Ronaldo was 16 years old with more talent than anyone could imagine and was about to start his professional football career. Skinny, head-shaven, and hungry to win, Ronaldo tore it up at Cruzeiro. He had it all, even from such a young age. Headers, stepovers, and screamers were just a part of life for the Brazilian. On October 5th, 1993, Ronaldo scored his first career hat-trick, making him the youngest player to do so since Pelé, and just 1 month later, he scored 5 goals in a single game, which was the day the world started to take notice of the striker. Ronaldo spent a total of 2 seasons at Cruzeiro, where he scored 44 goals in 47 games. He approached every single game in the same way, like a dog who had just been let off the leash for the first time. This was a constant throughout his entire career, as he was fearless approaching every match. This all-out approach is what made him so great, but is sadly what also led to his severe downfall. But we'll get to that soon. In the summer of 1994, Ronaldo was called up with Brazil to play at the World Cup. Although he didn't play a minute in the competition, Brazil won the tournament, meaning he picked up a World Cup winner's medal at just 17 years old. That same summer, all the European clubs had their eyes on Ronaldo. Man United almost got their hands on him, but they couldn't sort out a work permit, so he ended up making a £4 million move to Dutch club PSV Eindhoven. At PSV, Ronaldo just kept getting better, and by 18 years old, he was already considered as one of the best strikers in the world. He was an impossible player to defend, as he was quicker with the ball than without it, and had the best dribbling that any striker had ever had before. He spent a total of 2 seasons at PSV, where he won the Eredivisie Top Scorer Award in 1995 and the Dutch Cup in 1996. He kept up the same scoring rate he had in Brazil, with almost a goal a game, with 54 goals in 58 matches, and in the summer of 1996, Barcelona broke the world record transfer fee to sign Ronaldo on an 8-year contract for a total fee of £20 million, meaning at just 19 years old, Ronaldo was the most expensive player in the history of football, and he was ready to make that price tag look like a bargain. This season at Barcelona is where Ronaldo was at his physical peak, just before the major issues would begin. He was no longer a skinny kid. He had built up a considerable amount of strength, making him the perfect athlete. This year, he was simply unstoppable, scoring 47 goals in 49 games for Barcelona. This saw him pick up the European Golden Shoe and meant that at just 20 years old, he was already seen as the next football great. There were many comparisons to the likes of Pele, Maradona, and Van Basten, to the point where Ronaldo was the natural heir to their thrones. It's during this season that he was given the nickname El Fenómeno, or in English, the Phenomenon, and he also signed a 10-year deal with Nike, along with a lifetime endorsement deal which was worth over £160 million. From the streets of Rio to generational wealth in a matter of years. Now that's some story, but this story is about to get even crazier very soon. But before that, I really need your help because I'm trying to hit 100,000 subs this year. This has been my dream ever since I was a kid, so I'd really appreciate if you'd help me out. Okay, now that that's out of the way, let's get back to football. After this insane season, Ronaldo at Barcelona had verbally agreed on a new contract which would see him double his wage and extend the 8-year deal. But after the club's lawyers took a look at the contract, they said it was absurd and blocked the renewal. This saw Inter Milan swoop in and sign him for £27 million, actually breaking the world transfer record that he had just set the year before. He landed in Italy, and the same story continued. He was on fire, scoring 25 goals in his first season, winning the Serie A Player of the Season award. He also picked up the Ballon d'Or this year, making him the youngest player to ever win the award at only 21 years old. After this first season in Milan, Ronaldo and Brazil had the 1998 World Cup to play, where Brazil fought their way to the World Cup final, with Ronaldo chipping in with 4 goals along the way. But the night before the final against France, Ronaldo suffered a convulsive fit, which meant he should have been left out of the match. Somehow, he still managed to play, but it was clear he wasn't 100% on the day because he was only a shadow of the player he usually was, as France sank Brazil 3-0 to lift the World Cup. After this blow, Ronaldo returned to Inter for the 98-99 season, hoping to set the Serie A on fire once again, and he started off the season by doing just that. But this year wasn't all up for Ronaldo, as he picked up a couple of injuries along the way. Nothing too serious, but enough to stunt his progress that season, meaning he only managed to play 19 Serie A games and score 14 goals in the process. The fans were hoping that this would just be an off-season for the best player in the world, but as he returned next season, nobody was ready for the devastating downfall that was about to occur. Going into the 1999-2000 season, Ronaldo was named as the captain of Inter Milan, and Inter had very high hopes for the season ahead. But on the 21st of November, in a league game against Lecce, these hopes would be shattered. During this game, Ronaldo felt something wrong in his knee and was forced to leave the pitch early. He thought this was just a minor injury, but the medical staff later found out that he ruptured a tendon in his knee and required surgery, meaning he was set to miss at least 6 months of football. This was a real blow for Ronaldo and for Inter, as he was clearly the best player in the world at the time. But despite this setback, Ronaldo fought his way back through the recovery, and after 6 long months, he was deemed fit to play again. On the 12th of April 2000, Ronaldo made his way back onto the pitch, ready to regain his electric form, but this day marked the worst moment in his career. After only 6 minutes back on the pitch in the Coppa Italia final against Lazio, Ronaldo was running at the defense doing his famous stepovers that he had done 1,000 times before, but this time he just collapsed to the floor in agony. It turned out that Ronaldo suffered a complete rupture of the kneecap tendons, an injury even worse than what he had last time. The club physio says that his kneecap actually exploded, making this the worst injury he had ever seen before. This injury was so bad that he had to not only miss the rest of this season, but missed the entire next season also. Because of this, the captaincy was taken off him and handed to Javier Zanetti, as it looked like Ronaldo's career was over. Surely his career was over. There was no coming back from an injury like this, right? In the summer of 2002, there was a World Cup to play. 4 years on from the Brazilian heartbreak against France in 1998, Ronaldo wasn't meant to make it to this tournament. The injury he had was supposed to finish his career, but in what is quite possibly the greatest career comeback in football history, Ronaldo somehow got fit for the end of the 2001-2002 season, and after more than 2 years out of the game, he came back and scored 7 goals in Inter's final 10 games of the season. This meant he was back and fit to play in the World Cup. But he wasn't only injury-free, he was angry and fired up, ready to dominate this World Cup. He showed up to the tournament with the most iconic haircut in football history and put on a show like no other. 8 goals in the tournament, including a brace in the final against Germany, saw Ronaldo Nazário lift the World Cup trophy for the second time in his career. But this time, he was the focal point of the team. Because of his World Cup heroics, he was handed the 2002 Ballon d'Or, naming him as the best football player in the world, as he was so clearly back to his best. Now, at this time, Florentino Perez was collecting the Infinity Stones with Real Madrid as he was splurging out on the best players in the world. And in this same summer, Ronaldo was the latest addition to the Galacticos, making a £46 million move away from Inter Milan to sign for Real Madrid. His signing broke the all-time jersey sale record in 24 hours, as the fans were so excited to have the best player in the world at their club. He actually arrived at Real Madrid slightly injured, which might have been a warning sign for the Real Madrid fans, but they didn't care because he quickly recovered and led Madrid to La Liga that season with 30 goals in 44 games. Probably the highlight of his Real Madrid career would have that even got the Man United fans up on their feet to clap for his brilliance. In the next season at Real Madrid, he suffered an injury late in the season, and without Ronaldo, they collapsed in all competitions, finishing the season trophyless, although Ronaldo still had a great season on a personal level. The 2004-05 season was basically a repeat of the previous in the sense that Ronaldo performed individually, picked up a couple of injuries, and Real Madrid didn't win anything significant, but this was the last time we would see Ronaldo Nazário in such fine form, because from 2006, his career started to fall apart in a tragic way. Ronaldo spent one more year at Real Madrid, where the injuries continued to pile up, but this time it wasn't just injuries getting in the way of his football. He started to experience some weight issues and couldn't stay in shape. He was diagnosed with hypothyroidism, which basically means his metabolism was slowed down and he put on weight much easier. So now Ronaldo was struggling with injuries, weight, and general fitness, which was seemingly getting the better of him. It didn't help that he fell out of favor with Real Madrid's new manager, Fabio Capello, who decided to ship him off to AC Milan in 2007 for £8 million. When Ronaldo arrived at AC Milan, he had this to say about his time at Real Madrid: "I would like to thank the fans who supported me all the time, and thank the teammates that I've had here and all the coaches I've had, except one." This was clearly a dig at Capello, but anyway, Ronaldo was now back in Italy, looking to jumpstart his career once more. What's interesting is that Ronaldo doesn't seem to care about club loyalty, having now played for both Barcelona and Real Madrid and Inter Milan and AC Milan. In Ronaldo's first season in Milan, he only managed to play 14 games, picking up 7 goals in the process as the injuries and fitness issues persisted. Then going into his second season, they just got worse as he only managed to play 300 minutes that whole year. Because of his inability to stay fit, AC Milan had to release him from the club in 2009, but Ronaldo wasn't going to give up on football just yet because he was going to give it one last shot back home in Brazil. Before he was released by Milan, he suffered another bad knee injury, so he returned home looking for clubs to help him with his recovery. The Brazilian club Flamengo helped him for 4 months with his recovery and got him fit. Ronaldo claims to have grown up as a Flamengo fan, so it was looking like this was going to be a fairy tale ending to his career, signing for the club he grew up a fan of. The Flamengo fans were excited to have the legend join the club, but in a shocking turn of events, Ronaldo signed for Brazilian rivals Corinthians. The Flamengo fans were furious as they started to burn shirts of Ronaldo, but he just claims that he never received an offer from the club, so he chose to sign for a club that wanted him. Between 2009 and 2011, Ronaldo actually managed to play a total of 42 games in Brazil and bagged 24 goals in the process, despite the constant battles against injuries and weight gain. But on the 14th of February 2011, at 34 years old, Ronaldo decided to finally give in to his body and hang up his boots for good. After a total of 342 goals in 482 career games, Ronaldo had this to say: "It's very hard to leave something that made me so happy. Mentally, I wanted to continue, but I have to acknowledge that I lost to my body. The head wants to go on, but the body can't take any more. I think of an action, but I can't do it the way I want to. It's time to go." And that was that. Now, after retirement, he actually went on to buy the Brazilian football club Cruzeiro, which is where he started his career at just 16 years old, closing the loop on an insane story.
Give them your things and them still turn round and shoot you. With them kind of friendship not suit you. You me have to tell you go two-face brute you. All of who want mama son locked them. A first class when I flight me they strap them. Me nah use them, me nah use them. Prayers no answer, so me nah pop them. All of who want mama son locked them. First class when I flight me they strap them. Build a island for them. Them a crow, them know how you prosper. From a ton you get up tuna. In a lap, a first class when I flight me they strap them. Me nah use them, me nah use them. Prayers no answer, so me nah pop them. All who want mama son lock them. First class when I flight me they strap them. Nah use them, me nah use them. Fuck off. Your plate if you're out for me share. All who want mama son lock them. A first class when I flight me the strap them. Me nah use them, me nah use them. Prayers no answer, so me nah pop them. All who want mama She made you understand that love is magic. She made you find out love is not tragic. And now we are just waiting for a change. We both know love is a waiting game. Imagine everything we can make. Smile on your face, know how it's gonna break. If there's something I could do to get you right here in my bed, I would die 100 times to make you get out of my head. You're the happy in the sadness, you just make me come alive. I will make you smile forever, but just make me come alive. I will make you smile forever, but it's not a really child tonight. That are shining for us. We both know that it's all about trust. You make me believe in something that I don't know what it is, but I can't get enough. When I'm with you, I just need your love. You just became my favorite drug. All them haters, you know we the best. They wanna get at us, but we know that it can't shine as we do. You know that it's true. You feel it, I feel it, now we out too. Take me back to the place when we first met. I admit it, I was a little bit scared. No, I'm not anymore. Take my hand, close your eyes. We're gonna fly like Superman.
But this isn't the only insane football story out there, so if you want to see another one, you should really watch the video on screen now. Trust me, you'll like it.